Tonight on Chapter X, I want you to forget everything the world has taught you for the next few minutes. Forget your job title, your bank balance, your social status, your failures, even your ambitions, because there comes a moment in every human life when all these things become meaningless. Usually that moment arrives in silence, not the peaceful silence of meditation, but the heavy silence that enters a room after death. The kind of silence that forces a person to stare into the darkness and ask a terrifying question. What was all of this really for? Most people spend their entire lives running away from that question. They distract themselves with noise, work, entertainment, gossip, endless scrolling, endless comparison. But the brutal truth is this: death is not the greatest tragedy. The greatest tragedy is reaching the end of your life and realizing you never truly lived at all. Swami Vivekananda understood this better than most human beings ever will. Long before social media poisoned attention, long before modern society turned people into exhausted machines chasing validation, he understood that human beings are living inside an illusion, an invisible prison, a prison built from fear, ego, comparison, and survival. And once you see this prison clearly, your entire life begins to change. Because the moment a man truly understands death, he becomes impossible to control. Fear stops working on him. Society stops controlling him. Approval loses its power over him. He begins to see the game differently. Imagine a poor man living in a small Indian village decades ago. Every morning he wakes before sunrise. His body is tired before the day even begins. He walks to work carrying responsibilities heavier than the bag on his shoulders. His dreams slowly disappeared years ago, replaced by bills, obligations, and survival. Month after month, year after year, he earns just enough to remain trapped. Never enough to become free, just enough to continue the cycle. And that is exactly how the system survives. Not by making people rich, not by making them completely poor either, but by keeping them exhausted. Because exhausted minds do not rebel, exhausted minds obey. This is the poverty loop nobody talks about. People think poverty is only about money. It is not. Poverty is mental exhaustion. Poverty is waking up every day with so much stress that your mind loses the ability to think clearly. Modern science now proves what ancient wisdom already knew. Scarcity damages human decision-making. Stress consumes mental energy. When survival becomes your only focus, your intelligence slowly gets buried under anxiety. This is why so many people remain trapped for generations. Not because they are weak, but because the system quietly steals their cognitive bandwidth. And this is where Vivekananda's wisdom becomes dangerous, because he taught that the soul itself is infinite. Think about that carefully. Infinite. Not weak. Not temporary. Not dependent on a salary, a degree, or public approval. Infinite. But society trains you from childhood to forget this truth. You are taught to seek permission for everything. Permission to dream. Permission to speak. Permission to live differently. School trains people to become obedient workers. Offices train them to become dependent earners. Society trains them to compare themselves endlessly with others. Slowly, the human spirit becomes smaller and smaller, until people are terrified of silence itself. Because silence forces them to confront who they have really become. The modern world is filled with noise because noise prevents awakening. Notifications, entertainment, gossip, trends, endless opinions. Everyone is speaking, yet very few are truly thinking. And the moment somebody steps away from this madness to focus quietly on building a different life, something strange happens. The world begins resisting them. Friends mock them. Relatives question them. Society calls them arrogant, selfish, unrealistic. This is the crab bucket effect. When one crab tries escaping the bucket, the others pull it back down. Human beings often do the same thing unconsciously, because your growth reminds them of their own excuses. That is why true wealth must often be built in silence. Not only financial wealth, but spiritual wealth, mental wealth, emotional wealth. Nature itself hides its greatest creations in darkness. Seeds grow underground. Diamonds form under pressure. The crocodile waits silently beneath the water before striking. But modern people announce everything too early. Every goal becomes a social media post. Every small success becomes a performance for strangers. And then they wonder why their energy disappears. Vivekananda warned about this long ago in his own way. Attention is energy, and scattered energy creates a scattered life. In today's world, Many individuals find themselves ensnared within the golden bars of an employee cage. They view the security of a regular paycheck as synonymous with freedom, yet this illusion obscures a critical truth. The cost of this security is often our most precious commodity, time, which is irretrievable once lost. Every hour traded for a salary deepens a dependency on permissions for vacation, for financial stability, for mere existence. As this dependency grows, so does the accompanying fear, an insidious chain that binds one's spirit, entrenching them deeper into a lifestyle dictated by invisible constraints. Contrasting this mindset, the teachings of prominent philosophers advocate for a different approach, championing an inner strength that transcends the physical. True empowerment arises not merely from external validation, but from the confidence to follow one's own convictions. The renowned investor once illustrated this tension exquisitely, delineating between living by the outer scorecard, navigating life based on society's fleeting judgments, and the inner scorecard, where actions align with personal integrity and true values. The latter fosters a life of authenticity, liberating one from the ensnaring grasp of superficial success and hollow accolades that last mere moments. However, a stark reality looms. Countless people are trapped not in their chosen lives but in mirrored expectations passed down through generations. Parents' fears and societal norms create a cacophony of external pressures that drown out individual desires. Each person may find themselves confined by arbitrary rules from those who themselves did not forge their paths to freedom. Challenging this paradigm is essential. Awakening the dormant potential within lies at the heart of true liberation. Achieving this awakening necessitates a commitment to awareness, self-discipline, silence, and unwavering truth, tools through which individuals can reclaim their lives and dismantle the cages they inhabit. So, as you contemplate this message tonight, consider an unflinching inquiry. If the end of life arrived quietly before you, would you stand with pride in the choices you've made? Would you recognize any lingering chains of fear weighing upon your conscience? Embrace this moment as an opportunity to ignite change. If these thoughts resonate deeply, join the community on this journey through ChapterX. Together, we will delve even deeper into the complexities of memory, discipline, focus, and the silent habits that distinguish truly powerful minds from those ensnared in distraction.